Hi, my name's Peggy Overthere, and I am a medical intuitive based in Melbourne, Australia. Welcome to the Medical Intuitive channel. I'm very fortunate to have Patrice Krysztofiak rejoin me on the show to discuss his incredible mentorship. Welcome back, Patrice.
Thank you for having me back, Peggy. I'm so pleased to be here again.
Yes, well, I could talk to you for hours, and I'm sure that the audience loves to hear you talk about some of the exciting things that you're doing at the moment. So tell the audience a little bit about how your mentorship came about.
Well, it started with my one-to-one sessions. Some people were activating their gifts and they would have received visions, clairvoyance. And they'd say to me, Patrice, you're going to teach this. Me? Are you crazy? I'm just a guy from the middle of the forest. We live in the forest, we live in the middle of nowhere. I'm not going to teach this. But deep
Mhm.
down, I knew there was some truth to it. I did not never saw myself as a teacher. Uh, and I don't resonate with traditional teaching methods like schools or
Mhm.
programs like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slides and things like this. And eventually I met a lady, a client called Peggy Uberti.
That's right.
And well, she activated her gifts in her session and she was shaking and she was like, ah, because somatic reactions. And she got the same vision. Patrice, you have to teach this, and this is how you're going to do it. You just
Mm.
have to channel the information. And I actually had that thought a few weeks before. So it's like, I should just do not a training, because I don't resonate with training. I don't believe it's that easy to train somebody to work with energies, but more of a mentorship. So this
Mm.
is why I called it a mentorship instead of a training, because I do not teach a detailed protocol that will lead you to learn, for example, Reiki or Qigong or another form of energy. It's more
Mhm.
about empowering your own gifts, whatever they are,
Yeah.
discovering them, empowering them, and remembering them, because this is why we are on this planet too, is to remember what we can do.
Incredible. So what
So,
are some of your, I can definitely attest to the fact that after the end of our session, I thought I wanted to keep learning because I had so many questions. And even though you said, oh, you've got a, you're a medical intuitive, I'm going to put you on my directory. I just had 100 questions, really. Probably probably haven't stopped asking you questions for a whole year. Although I'm getting better, I know the answers. They come, right?
mhm.
But so that was, and it was really just driven out of the fact that I hadn't had anybody else in in my life or my community that had these gifts. And it was really about the excitement of connecting with others who are also on this path. So, can you tell me what is the criteria for people to get into the mentorship?
Well, it's an application only. I didn't want to accept everybody. It's not, it goes against all business marketing strategies we've been taught. I just go fully from the heart. So I just channel if people are accepted or not. Because what we realize is that the groups are never random. It's usually people who had past lives together. And when they meet, sometimes they cry and there's like this emotional charge to the group that is just out of this world. It's something else. Sometimes we crash Zoom or we see energies on camera.
Mm.
Um, And also, because I'm going to go back in time a little bit, when I had my awakening, I was trying to find the real deal because I was looking for answers too. And many people closed their doors. They say, oh, Patrice, you're completely out of your mind with that guy. And I realized some people are fake. But then some
Mm.
people opened their doors and they mentored me in their own way because they didn't have a mentorship program. And I realized, oh my God, there's nobody who is actually guiding people through this awakening of the gifts process and what to do with them. Because it's not
Mm.
about bending spoons or teleporting guitars. That's not why we're here. Those gifts have to be used for the greater good. And I lost my train of thoughts about your question.
No, I think those are all really important points. So it basically, how did people, what is the criteria for people getting selected? So you channel the information. Where's
Yes,
the, so when you say channel, where's the information coming from for you?
that's a very good question. People might call it guide or call it universal mind. Uh, I just go in a meditative state, which I'm very easy for me because I'm always connected. I'm always high. Oh my God. So just people, if you meet me, just know I'm always high.
Yes, you're definitely always high. In fact, I get
Uh,
high when I'm just sitting with you. So, and I'm sure
yeah,
the
but
audience will get high too.
yeah. And then I just check in, is this person accepted? So it depends on who is on the group. So this is what happened. Some people submitted their application, they were accepted, and they didn't go through the final process of registration, but they were not accepted for the next mentorship cohort because they didn't match the group. I was surprised actually, because I would think if somebody is accepted, they would be able to come to another one. And I'm getting a no, it's not possible. It has to be with this group because there's some energy exchange that's happening, but I do not
Mm,
understand because it's bigger than what the human mind can comprehend.
mm.
And that's how people are picked. And some people say, yeah, you accept everybody just for money, blah, blah, blah. And I don't actually, I reject like 45 or 50% of people.
Wow.
So it's an application. People have to go on my website and they apply
Yeah.
and I tune in. And when the
So,
group is formed, it's formed and that's it. And the registrations are closed for the
mhm.
next cohort.
So what makes you tune in and know that a person is right for the mentorship? What are some of the criteria, do you think?
It's very hard to answer this from a human perspective. I
Mm,
believe one of the criteria is a big heart space.
mm,
uh, Having true gifts also, because some people don't have true gifts, and this is something we will have to teach, and it is going to be challenging for the ego of many people, because this is
mm,
already happening from people who can see energies. They're like, oh my God. Some people say, oh my God, I got 2 years Reiki training and I can do Reiki. No, I'm sorry, you can't. There's nothing happening. It's all in their imagination, but we cannot prove it.
mm,
Is my word against theirs. Well, these
mhm,
people who can see energies, I call them energy police. There are more and more. I'm meeting them.
mm,
They will be there to do some sort of police of the energy to know who is real, who is not, because there's fake people. It's like undeniable. I mean, do
mm,
they work from a pure heart perspective? Yes, they still help people, but we're talking about different levels of work with energy. If you haven't had a real first experience, it's impossible to explain. It's a visceral experience. I mean, do
mhm.
you know that there is like a spinning vortex around your body that you can feel like a magnetic force? You
Yeah.
cannot take a picture of it. You cannot record it.
Mhm.
You have to have it to know it's true.
Yeah. Well, we do record it. The mentorship does get recorded every week, and you can see these visceral somatic reactions of the mentees in the program. So
Yeah,
they are feeling the energies. They are burping, they are shaking, they're crying, they're vomiting. There's lots of yeah.
yeah. We have captured energies on camera, like rainbows or orbs flying. That has happened.
It's absolutely amazing. So it's really just a channeled information that you get from this, universal mind that guides you to understand whether the person has the heart space and the gifts, and then they are in the right stage of life, or
Yes.
yeah, because some people are too young, and maybe they haven't gone through enough of their own sort of personal development. Is that right? To be able to
Yeah,
hold the
that's a
heart.
good way to put it. Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So they still have to heal some of their stuff that they experience in this lifetime before they're ready to sort of, I guess, serve. Would that make sense?
Yes, that makes
Yeah.
complete sense.
So you've got an incredible number of gifts, and I think that one of the things that I really appreciate from you is that you are very, very straightforward. We called it the trigger police, right? So
Yes.
what I think it's important for anybody applying and understanding what this mentorship's about. I mean, you co-facilitate it with Amy Elizabeth,
Y-
who's been on the show as well, and you can get an
Yes.
understanding what she's like. But I think it's important, tell the people how you operate in these mentorships.
Well, I feel like I'm not on this planet for long, so I have to do the job and I have to do it quickly and correctly. And the quickest way to learn is with a slap in the face. So I'm not going to come to your house and slap you. And I can see and channel your higher self or true self. Well, it's not higher, it's just a wrong description, but your true self. And I get information that I channel for you that would trigger emotional reaction. So I know basically the truth of your life, and I can know if you're bullshitting me or not. This is a curse and a blessing at the same time. And some people are not always prepared for that. So Amy was one of my students in the first cohort. And I was like, oh my God, I need this lady with me because she's English. Her English is much better. Sometimes I have difficulties translating concept in a diplomatic way, let's call it like this. And she's very articulate. She can also feel and see energies. And so starting from the second cohort, I said, Amy, you have to come work with me. But I need you. It's the same thing. It's channeled. It's like my intuition tells me, you need this lady, you need to work with her. So when I work with Amy, something's happening in terms of energy. It's expanding to a level we cannot understand. It's like a chemical reaction in a way. Some clients can see that because we've done 2-on-1 sessions with Amy and they say, oh my God, you're like the Vesica Pisces. And it's like there's this exponential energy when you work together.
Well, she has incredible skill set with the coaching, because she's had so much training and around that, that consciousness expansion and sitting with your higher self. And, I think that she's
And
very
also she has
articulate.
and she also has a different approach on life. She's a mom, she has kids. I'm a man, I don't have kids. It's like my approach of life is very different. I don't have the same 3D reality. So she brings another perspective of my point of view, which is always refreshing because there's not one truth. It's what people need to understand. The truth is from the point of view of the observer. So I'm going to bring you my truth, but you need to adapt it to you.
Yeah. So perhaps it'd be good now to explain a little bit about the structure. So it's a 6-week course.
Yes, well, it's a 6 days program. So because now we have reduced it to 5 weeks, we do a Saturday and Sunday for the first sessions. So the first session is designed to clean the group. So we clear past lives and things like this, which is usually where people are like, oh my God, what is this? There's a lot of crying involved. Some people quit. That has happened because it was too much to handle. Because more and more people remember their past lives, and when you access groups, a high vibration group like this, your gift also gets activated more. So you get movies or things like this. People see, they're like, "Oh my God, I killed some people in the Second World War," or something like this, and they just cannot handle it. It's too hard. People who are not prepared, which is very rare, but that happens, and it's happening more and more. And I believe we will see more and more people remembering their past lives like this. So the first day we clean the group, we get to know each other. What do you do? Because we are people from different backgrounds. We have like some massage therapists. Not everybody's in therapy. Some people are just regular office worker and they just want to explore their gift because it's fun and they can help their family. This is what some other healers like Candy Silvers talks about that. She says, I think she channeled that or she got a message. She says, I want one healer in every family. Energy healer. Healer between quotes. We don't want to be blacklisted, YouTube, please.
Yeah. Yes. Medical disclaimer. We don't heal people. Yes. We hold the space and the frequencies and they heal themselves. Go ahead.
Yes, and miracles happen. And so some people are coming from all different backgrounds. We have some people from the corporate world and they're like, oh my God, I don't know what's happening in my corporate meetings. I can hear the thoughts of other people when I'm speaking with them. I know what the meeting is going to be about before I go there. There are so many expressions of gifts. It's unbelievable. It's like everybody has unique gifts, and this is part of the mentorship, discovering your unique gifts and bringing them in a group settings and work together with your gift and the gift of others to help the greater good for humanity.
So I guess the first session is a cleaning, and then there's a big question and answer period where people can just ask questions. And then the second session, having been through the program myself, we start with questions, and then I guess it's a 2-hour program. And the first bit is just asking questions from the week, something that might have come up. You channel the information, the answers, you and Amy, and then we bring in a practice client.
Yes.
So it's usually it's a real client. It's a real client. I shouldn't say we're not. Yeah, it's a real client. So I know that people bring in their friends or family or mom or whoever for this incredible offering of a free gift, and then Explain, do you want to explain the structure, how that process works for that hour and 20 minutes or so, or hour and a half?
Yes. So we bring a client and then everything is channeled. So that's going to sound weird, but sometimes I do nothing. I do nothing. I just look at the energy because it depends on the group. So the first group we had, it was more about leadership. And I was telling, for example, Peggy, you need to lead that group that day. So
Mm-hmm.
there's someone who leads the group. So it's basically what Lynn McTaggart is doing with the Power of Eight, or Joe Dispenza in
Mm,
his private groups. There's a leader who leads the group with the gift. And I just look to see if everything is correct. Because I can see energies, I see or feel, and for now I feel more than I see, and I just know it's very quick. And I say, oh no, you should not address this. Maybe you're more suited to work on the knee of the person because there's energy blockages there.
mm-hmm.
Or I say, or maybe the leader is not leading in the right way. I say, well, just ask if somebody's seeing anything. Because some people are
Mm-hmm.
afraid to speak because there's still this persecution mentality of
Yeah.
the witch hunt and stuff like this. And no, just speak. If you see something, if it's wrong, that's fine to be wrong. This is why the group is here.
Yeah.
People say, oh my God, I saw something in the liver. And then somebody else will say, oh yes, me too. And that removes imposter syndrome from people. It's instant. It's like, oh my God, three people see the same thing as me. I'm not crazy. Because this is basically when you're alone, you don't have anybody to compare your information with. You're like, am I making this up?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's undeniable. So everybody sees the same thing. It's like, yes.
Yeah. I think that was one of the most compelling things for me to why I wanted to do the mentorship, was that I had this clear cognizance, and it would come in as a thought. So I don't see energies, but it comes in as a very strong knowing. And so being able to say, oh, I have this, I can see whatever it was, or I'm seeing this past life. And then the group confirms that, oh, I've got the same thing, or I've got chills in my back, and oh, well, I've got chills in my back. So it was this mirroring and constant confirmation. Um, and it's because it's such a safe space, again, because you refer back to the witch wound, which I think, we can clear a few past lives with regards to that. And perhaps we need to explain that to what the audience is. So in past lives, a lot of present day healers have been healers in the past. They have been priestesses, masters, all sorts of incredibly, they could have been male, medicine people, but they were persecuted and killed for their gifts. And so we might clear as many lives as we can in that first session, or you would do that. But then there's still they come up in layers as unpeeling an onion, isn't it? And
Yes.
then we
I
have
mean,
to, yeah.
and if you have
So
2,000 past life, because we're talking that level of numbers,
yeah,
1,000, 2,000. Look at San Ching, the Taoist guy. Is like he remembers he had 1,000.
yeah.
Uh, how do you clear 1,000 past life? It takes a long time.
Yeah. So I think the speaking up, so that gentle process, well, it can be gentle and it can also be very direct, of helping so that the client has this, 6 people or 8 people. So it's usually a small group, between 6 to 10 people. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10
Um,
people is the max. Because after a certain point, it's hard to keep track of all the energies moving. That's
mm,
kind of my limit of my bandwidth at the moment. And it's very fun to have small groups. It creates an intimate setting.
yeah.
That's really fun.
And everybody gets feedback and opportunity to share. And I think it's, yeah, that
Yes.
the group size is perfect, really. And
Mhm.
then the client gets the benefit of having 6 to 10 people help clear whatever their issues are. And there's been some incredible, I guess, just transformations for these people that have been in the recipient of these mentorships.
Oh, yes. Group energy healings are incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's so much quicker than a one-to-one. If you're a practitioner, even if you do a two-on-one, two practitioners on one client, it's night and day with a one-to-one. It's like once you've done this, you don't really want to go back to one-to-one. I mean, yes, you still do it, but from a client perspective, it makes no sense. It's just too slow.
Yeah, 100%. And if I lived in the Europe time zone, I'd be teaming up with you beautiful people a lot more, but it's a bit tricky in Australia. So what's really interesting from the mentorship, the other benefit that I know that I got was that, as we are working on a client and you're seeing all the energies and Amy is seeing all the energy and holding this incredible angelic frequency that she has, we're clearing stuff as well as clearing the client. And you can say, there might be a block in my throat when I'm trying to speak, and you say, Peggy, you want to release that. And then on top of that, which is really cool, you might get gift activation. So tell the audience what happens in those throughout the 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, so what happens is like we work on a client, and as we work, people are remembering their gifts more and more, and they remember their persecution sometimes. People might feel, for example, pain in their wrist, and they're like, what's happening? I'm working on the client, and I've pain on my wrist, and suddenly they go, bah, and there's this energy release, and then they suddenly feel energies in their hands, and they're like, oh my God, what is this? Or people see energy, that has happened, people see energy, like we had a lady who could see a movie in her hand, but like, I don't know what happened, I just said, but the information just came. I said, look into the palm of your hand, and she went like this, and she saw a little screen with a movie, a hologram, and she could see Akashic records like this. And that's how she access Akashic records. She just watches it like this. It's better than a smartphone.
Wow.
Some people started channeling. So before, usually they need the universe need to prepare your body. So there's this incredible somatic reaction, a lot of vomiting involved usually.
Yes.
And when people start trance channeling, that has happened several times. It's not a one-time thing. I mean, you've seen it. So
Yeah. Yes. And I did that as well. So
even for us, it's like, oh my God, what's happening? It's like we're like in a
mm,
sci-fi movie. It's like, what is this? It's incredible. It's
mhm.
beautiful to see.
So while the client is sitting there, all these other people, all the people in the group, all the mentees are getting activations, clearings. They're getting light language transmissions from both you and Amy, which also has this incredible frequency. People get high, you know?
Yeah, we get high. Like we took the drug. I don't know, I've never done like drugs, but it feels like that.
Yeah. The frequencies are
It-
so incredible. And I'm curious to know, so what kind of follow-up and how do you support the mentees through the process?
so Amy created a Telegram group for all the students. So there is one main Telegram group where you have all the students from all cohorts. So that's a lot of people. So you have access to a network, which is really cool that you have access to a network. And then you have mini Telegram groups with just your cohort if you just want to keep in touch between the students of the moment. So it's just a closed space just for you. And we can discuss what's happening in the class and things like this. And then there's a monthly coaching call with Amy that Amy organizes with all the students, whoever wants to join. So you can ask questions for what happened to you during this month. Maybe if you have a practice or you're a massage therapist, because what has happened with a massage therapist is, oh my God, I went to see my client and I knew exactly where to go immediately. I touched her knee with my hand and the lady started shaking and crying. It was like, even she noticed her massage are deeper on an energetic level and there's more energy moved.
Wow. This is incredible. So there's some friendships that have been branched off from these mentorships as well, and
Yes, yes,
people are practicing doing exchanges and yeah, some things like that as well with their living close by.
yes.
What do you think is the biggest thing that people need to learn when they want to do this kind of work? Let's say, you really want to throw yourself into whether you call yourself a medical intuitive or Reiki healer or a massage therapist or hands-on healer. What are some of the major themes that you're seeing in the mentorship group that you're trying to help with people to get to
The
understand?
two biggest things. The first thing is like everybody's talking about that, and this is so true. When you understand it viscerally, it's going to be shocking for the audience. Shocking news. We need to put a banner on YouTube. Shocking video that is going to break the internet. You have to take care of yourself.
Mm,
This is the number one rule. You are your priority. You are your first client. This
mm,
sounds silly, but it's true. You have to take care of yourself. You have to be grounded. You have to feel good in your body and in your mind. This is your ultimate priority. Take care of
mm.
yourself. That means eating a good meal, sleeping enough, getting a massage, whatever you like. Maybe you play guitar or you like to walk your dog. Just prioritize walking your dog over your client. It's more
Yeah,
important. This is where you will do the best work.
yeah. I think those are very big takeaway. And what's the other big
The other
takeaway?
thing, that's what Amy calls compassionate detachment. You need to be able to hold the space without being affected by the emotion of what's going on, because maybe people are going to cry in front of you. They're going to be in terrible pain. You need to be able to smile while you do your work. That's why I always think the mentorship is like smile, smile, smiles. The cycle is smile technology. It really does something to the energy. As soon as you smile, even if it's a fake smile, everything moves faster.
Wow.
I wish I could film that and show it like a smile. Whoa, it's right quicker. It's like there's this speeding up of the energy. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think when you can have that fun, it really makes a difference. I think that was one of I think a lot of healers go into this work. Because they're so sensitive and they feel everybody's pain, they want to take it away from them. And then they take it on their body. So I guess
Yes.
that very first session, there's a lot of cleaning up. Tell the audience exactly what happens in that taking on their body. What's happening for those practitioners?
This is what I believe, because I looked at that from a purely energetic perspective, and this is what they're showing me. They're showing me humans on a grid. It's like we have fiber optics between each human, like a web. It's basically like the internet. Everything is connected, and we can exchange information, like as we speak, but we can also exchange energy and emotions. I mean, like if you walk by a grumpy man, you're going to feel the grumpiness. And some practitioners, they just in their mind, they're like, I'm going to help you, but I'm going to take your stuff in me to help you. This is how they manifest their desire to heal the person. I'm going to use the word heal for that. So yes, it's going to remove the pain from the patient, but you take it on yourself, because we can, it's that easy. We can exchange energies like this. There's this invisible thread. I don't know how it works. It's quantum technology, whatever you want to call it, but it's very real. And you have to be very, very careful with that, because you can absorb a lot of energy. And then we find, because we have nurses as in the mentorship, there's a nurse, she has so much pain because she works with veterans who have PTSD, and she doesn't know how to flush it. It's not that she doesn't know how to flush it. I believe she can, but she's exposed all the time because that's part of her work.
Yeah.
She does 12-hour shifts, and there's a limit to how much the human body can hold. I forgot to say that the body keeps scores. It's like another medium said that the body keeps scores, and
No, that
realize
was
that.
Dr. Gabor Mate. He's
Oh,
the Canadian physician who, he talks about all the emotional impact in our body, in our nervous system. And we can see a lot of people get quite sick and in pain when they taking on the darker energies from the people that they're working with.
yes, and this is what we are trying to teach. I don't know if I can. It's more like an attunement. I see it for practitioners is to become a channel, so it goes through you. You still feel it go, but it goes in the earth or in the air, whatever you want to call it. But you're just a channel to eliminate the energy, like a pipe. I'm calling myself the cosmic vacuum cleaner. So I'm
You're
the
like,
cosmic janitor.
yes, you're like a super Dyson, although maybe Dyson can sponsor us and for that plug.
Dyson, Dyson, if you listen to this podcast, please.
Yeah, you're stronger than a Dyson. So I think that's one of the huge takeaways is because you're able to see the energy as you're working with a client, and you can see whether the person's actually taking on the energy on their body which is really an incredible live feedback for the practitioner trying to work on whatever the ailment is of the complaint, and you can say, oh, hang on, you're not aligned, and you're taking it on. And so then what's really cool is that you can clean it up at the end of the session. So if the person
even
has
during the session, sometimes I
during
ask people to pause, please take a break. You need to learn to take a break, because sometimes you have to just go put your hands under the running water to clear your energy. It's very powerful to clean the running water, because this is what I did at the beginning of my journey, because I could not handle that much energy through my body to stop during a session. For me, it felt natural to do this, and I would just run my hands underwater, or I would go hug a tree outside. Well, like we live in the forest, and I would go, bah, and I would release everything. My wife would be laughing, 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 because she would hear, wow. It's like the movie The Green Mile. It's for people who saw The Green Mile. It's exactly like this. This is based on a true story. I'm sure of it now. And this is stuff that's not being taught by anyone. I mean, even if you do a Reiki course or something, uh, we need to teach that, and we need to show what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I think in Reiki, in some Reiki manuals, because I did level 1 and 2, they talk about washing your hands after a session
Yes,
and
I do
just
it during very often.
during, which is really, and so that's one of the benefits of doing this mentorship program is really getting this constant, reminders about, energetic hygiene and
Hmm.
after your body. And what I really, really love about was the message of just focusing on yourself when you're working with a client.
Hmm.
Talk about that a
Yes.
little bit.
Yeah, because people put their attention on the client because they're too attached to the outcome. That's the wrong way to approach it. You have to be detached from the outcome. This is not a role to decide. We're just a channel. And what happens, happens. If it happens, if we have a successful session where pain disappears, so be it. If it does not work, it does not work. It's not our fault. We're just a channel. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
That
Well,
might not be for the higher self of the person to get their pain removed. We don't understand the big picture. We're still here on the 3D level with a
yeah.
limited perspective.
Amazing. So you're working through the third cohort of mentorship group. When is the fourth one? Do you have a timeline? And is this all going to be channeled?
It's all channeled. There is no timeline. When the group is set, the group is set. I close the application and we just start the group. And then when the group is almost done, I reopen the applications. It does not match any marketing strategies, as I said. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah. So when people email you, when is it beginning? You have to say,
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm waiting for the channeled information to come. So yeah, I think for
Yes.
people who are really planners and like to have, the syllabus and what's the book look, what do I have to, it's not like that at all. It's
Yeah, there's
all,
no program because that has happened. The lady was disappointed, but she remembered her past lives and she started crying and she quit. So I was expecting a protocol, and it's written clearly on my website. It's not a protocol where you're going to learn, do this. It's about empowering your own gifts
yeah,
and also
yeah.
building a network of practitioners and people you can talk about woo stuff because we're talking about very weird stuff.
Yes, I wouldn't have it any other way. So is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience to discuss, to let them know a little bit about your mentorship that I haven't asked you today?
No, I think that was pretty
Yeah.
detailed enough. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can't vouch for it enough, obviously, because I've been through it. I so grateful to have met the people that I met, and of course, be mentored by you, and I continue to be mentored, which is incredible. Working together and participating in your incredible groups. So you've got some groups coming up, some clearings and group work as well on top of the
Yeah.
mentorship.
Yeah, so we're going to start doing groups with Amy because we really like doing that for clients, so not for mentors. Open groups for a very reasonable price because some people have like financial stress. Not everybody's making a lot of money, so I'm
Yeah,
going to make this type of work very affordable for everybody who wants to join, and we're going to do 4 groups a week. And we'll see. We're just playing it by ear. Just came up information. Patrice, you should do this. And it was so easy. Yeah, we're
wow.
doing well 1 in the morning European time, so Australian people, and because we have people from Asia also who join, so we
Yeah,
can work all around the world. And a group in the evening European time, which is morning for California,
perfect.
and we'll
And
see
all the
what happens from
links,
there.
that's right. And all the links will be below. So we hope that and you can find the link to the mentorship application as well below. And just reach out and via email and ask Patrice some questions. Maybe he'll tell you why you're not accepted or accepted, but be prepared. It's going to be blunt, isn't it?
Yes, thank you
But,
so much.
he probably will tell you exactly what you need to do to become aligned or, yeah. Or you might get no reply. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I even replied to some people they were not accepted because they were too good and they had all the tools they needed.
Ah, yes.
That has happened a few times. I don't know, you don't need to be here. I mean, if you want to join, I would take you. This is what I said, but you have all the tools you need. You're like super advanced. It's like cannot, there's no gain for that person. They would just lose money. I mean, not lose money because it's still a fun activity, but it made no sense. And I think they were happy about that. They didn't reply, but
Well, there's always that too. So that's good. Get rejected because you're too good. Thank you so much, Patrice. Thank you for joining us today. And we look forward to hearing about your next adventures.
thank you, Peggy.
You're welcome.